We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Ian. Ian is in his center channel back to RBH. This is the guy whose center channel was rattling or whatever.
Yeah.
And set his receiver to run with the phantom center until he gets a replacement. Based on his understanding and our past advice, he expected things to sound essentially the same so long as he was sitting in the sweet spot. But during a short listening test after removing his center channel, he noticed a big difference in the imaging of the vocals. I wish I had a better description of what he's talking about. Did he say anything other than this?
No.
Just big difference.
He said big difference, yeah.
He says, he asked, could this mean the front speakers are out of phase? He hasn't rerun Odyssey without the center yet, but the phase could be the same, couldn't it? I'm sorry, the phase should be the same, shouldn't it? The distance and levels are the same for each, so how can he test out the proper phase? Okay. All right, so things here that could possibly be happening. Number one, then this is a way long shot. Did he tell his receiver that it doesn't have a center channel anymore? I imagine that was the first thing he did.
He did. He definitely did that. It says center channel, no. Center speaker, no. So
right.
correct.
So when you set up your speakers, right, you connect a set of speaker wires. There's usually one side that has a line on it or something, and one side that doesn't. And then you choose, because the electricity doesn't care what you do. But you connect the black terminal on your receiver to the black terminal on your speaker, and the red terminal on your receiver to the red terminal on your speaker. That way, the electricity is all going through in phase, meaning in the same direction, so to speak. Really, it's not that, but whatever. So this means that all your drivers on all your speakers, when just say they're all trying to play the same note at the same time, they all push out at the same time and they all pull back in at the same time. That's being in phase. Okay, when they're supposed to be all pushing out, they're all pushing out. If you reverse those wires, one will be pushing in while the other one's pushing out, which means you connect the red terminal on your receiver to the black terminal on your speaker. Mm-hmm. That would be your speaker out of phase. Now, he says he noticed a big difference in the imaging of the vocals. Now, you will notice a humongous difference in imaging if your speakers are wired out of phase. It's not
Things
something
that should be coming from the middle aren't coming from the middle. They're coming from kind of everywhere.
It kind of sounds like sometimes it's coming out of your own head. Might be coming out of this, like just one side, like one ear. It seems to be coming in
kind
through
of above you or behind you.
It's all very, very weird. It's like it's not like a subtle thing. Like, I think my speakers might be out. It's like, holy crap, what is that? And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. It is not beyond the realm of possibilities that he's been having his speakers out of phase and not noticed it, since his center channel has been handling so much and anchoring so much stuff up front that he hasn't been really paying attention to his.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. You're right.
It's not out of the realm, but the fact that he says he noticed a big difference in the imaging and not, holy crap, my speakers are possessed by the devil, which is what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't think it's phase. I kind of don't.
Double check it. And Odyssey should catch that. If a speaker
they
is
should have
wired
caught
out
it
of phase,
the first time around.
Odyssey should catch that, especially a front speaker.
They should have caught that when you ran it the first time. That shouldn't.
So that's a little
honestly.
Suspect.
So I don't really think that's it. And you just rerun Odyssey for that.
But how to test it? Run anything where there's a vocalist singing in the middle. That'll tell you.
Just literally every single CD you own.
Pretty much,
it's pretty
just
rare.
Run
it in 2-channel mode.
Pretty rare. You could also just run mono pink noise if you just want to do a test tone, and mono pink noise should come out the middle. But yeah, it should sound, if you're in the sweet spot, sitting in between your front, left, right speakers, it should definitely sound like anything that's mixed into the middle is coming from dead ahead in the middle.
Honestly,
that's the way to test it.
I hate to say this to this guy, but it could be that, if his tweeter is blown in one of those speakers, if his tweeter is blown, because he did kind of break this other speaker with Lord of the Rings. So it's not, if you blow your tweeter, the imaging of the vocals is going to suffer significantly. So it is, I would put my ear next to, I would play some stuff and put my ear next to every single driver
individually.
Individually. Like the tweeter you have to put your ear next to. The rest of them you just feel to see whether or not they're moving. But is theoretically possible that you blew a tweeter
I suppose,
in one
yeah.
of your main speakers. So, all right. He says also when watching The Return of the King. So first of all, dude, seriously, you need to settle down with this movie. At reference level, there will time when the left surrounds two R5 BIs. These are Arsenal EMP tech speakers, wired in parallel to accommodate the two rows of seats. Excuse me, we're making some knocking noises. He's assuming that this is just overdriving them and they were bottoming out. And you didn't stop it? Because the first thing I do is stop that, but all right. But does that seem right? Is this likely to have damaged them as well? He's powering them with the Den X4100W receiver.
I also don't know, are these wall-mounted or shelf-mounted? Because they might have just been, literally vibrating the wall mount or vibrating on the shelf.
That was actually the very first thing that came to my mind. Knocking when you bottom out a driver, it sounds like metal on metal clang.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like a knock. It sounds like you're taking two metal rods and you're smacking them together. That's what it sounds like. So if you weren't hearing that, I would guess that maybe the speakers are vibrating on something, or the mount's vibrating, or they're just vibrating. Dude, you're listening to reference volume with subwoofers in this room. You very well could have been vibrating almost anything. This is a good time to start playing some sweeps really, really loud and go run around your room and see what's shaking. Literally shaking.
I did want to mention, though, he specifically said he wired them in parallel. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend wiring them in series for sure, especially driving them off of an AV receiver. That's
putting a lot of taxing load on the receiver, and we've discussed that on this podcast before. If you would like us to go through it again, that's fine, but there are diagrams and stuff online that will help you find all of that for how to
I would suggest wiring those in series for sure.
Right. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.